Praise be to Jesus. Well, before I read you this story, there's something else I'd like to say. Um, there are cardinals, bishops, priests that are getting further and further away from Catholicism, and this is another example of it. Um, I think God wants all of you who listen to these recordings to do everything you can to share them with other Catholics, your family members, friends, co-workers, um, and talk to them about it's important that they pay attention to what's going on in the church. Now they're going to say why. Well, the reason that they need to pay attention is that eventually, and eventually could have passed already. Okay. Um, what they need to do is they need to find out in their heart if they agree with things like communion for the remarried, communion for same sex couples or cohabiting couples. Do they agree with that the primacy of conscience, in other words, their own conscience, overrules Catholic teaching? These are the kinds of things where people need to decide which side of the fence they're on. Because God is not on both sides of the fence, He's only on one side of the fence. And unless they educate themselves and pray about it, they could very well end up on the wrong side of the fence just because they're not paying attention. And, um, we're all called to pay attention to what goes on in the church, and God doesn't take as an excuse, ignorance. So, we all need to give everyone we can the opportunity. Then that's really all you can do is offer them the opportunity to pay attention to what's going on in the church. They don't necessarily have to subscribe to the channel. You can, I think some of you are familiar with some of the sites where I get things from, and they could just bookmark those on their computer and, check in and see what's going on as things develop. So, and I think God wants all of us to do that, with knowledge um, comes responsibility, and God wants you to take the responsibility of educating your brothers and sisters. All right, so this what's going on here is just, I thought the helicopter or whatever it was that was flying around the monstrance that I posted the other day. I thought that was really bizarre. Well, here's another example of a bishop who is like really under the thinking of Satan. So the name of this is Brazilian Bishop Speaks in Masonic Lodge. Can you believe that? A bishop is speaking in a Masonic lodge. Bishop Gilberto Posada de Oliveira, 61, of Crato, Brazil, delivered on March 14th a speech at the Masonic Lodge of Juazeiro de Norte. De Oliveira said that the church and Freemasonry can have fraternal relations. Oh boy. Since according to him, most of the Freemasons, quote, are Christians, unquote. Oh boy. Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger, as the prefect of the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith, issued in 1983 a declaration on Masonic associations stating that, quote, the Church's negative judgment in regard to Masonic association remains unchanged since their principles have always been considered irreconcilable with the doctrine of the Church, and therefore membership in them remains forbidden, unquote. And, quote, the faithful who enroll in Masonic associations are in the state of grave sin and may not receive Holy Communion, unquote. So I don't know what else to say about this, you know. Just please think about taking the responsibility that God wants you to take, and at least giving all the Catholics that you know the opportunity, and impress upon them how important it is, because as this goes on, and that the space, or that the distance between the Orthodox and the modern church, as they grow apart, they're going to have to choose, and even if they don't pay attention, then that's. So we need to give them the opportunity. So I just read the whole article, but if you want to look at it, the link is in the description box and at the end of the video.